Hey, it's Justin here. Just want to jump on once again. Seem to be on a roll, so just going to run with it. Typically in the past, I haven't made this many videos, though right now I've got some extra time, got some extra space in my life before starting the doctoral degree at South College. So I just thought, why not jump on, make another video based on some of the questions I've been getting from others. So I'm going to talk about what my aim or objectives are with completing or pursuing a doctoral degree, and why I've even thought about doing one in the first place. So if you've watched another video of mine, maybe I'll link it here or here. I have done 3 master's degree in the past, and in that video I describe my affinity for learning and my curiosity in advancing my way of thinking, and I just love gaining new knowledge. I actually did the Strengths Finder assessment, and one of my top 5 strengths is called input, and it's about inputting, collecting ideas, storing ideas, getting new insight. So for me, the doctoral degree is mainly around lifelong learning. I wouldn't say that's the only case. For me, I have worked in academia for about 9 years, and I can see that working in higher education is becoming more and more competitive. And even though I have a role and I'm established in my career, I'm not a tenured professor. And I also recognize that many people who stay in academia do have doctoral degrees, whether it's a PhD, a Doctor of Education, whatever it is. Now, there have been people who have questioned the value of having a doctoral degree. What is the whole value in general for anyone? And I don't think that there is always value for everyone. So, for example, my partner, they have a PhD, and they've actually had a very difficult time finding a job at one point, especially because they weren't looking for specifically a high level role. They were looking for something more entry level or middle of the road. And they had a very difficult time getting a job. I've heard from employers that sometimes they think of people with doctoral degrees as scary smart. If they aren't familiar with the doctoral education, they might not understand the value, as well as they might not feel comfortable with people who have doctoral degrees if they have a lot of assumptions around who gets them and whatnot. And this is primarily for people who are interested in industry. Again, I'm interested in academia, so it's a little bit of a different story. Though in some industry roles, there are people who want to take on a research role or a high-level leadership type role. And in that case, it might be useful to have a doctoral degree to be kind of a distinguishing factor, a competitive edge. However, I don't think it's typical to have a doctoral degree. I think there must be a percentage out there, but it's a very small percentage of people who do have doctoral degrees. I'm quite mindful of that, and that does not put me off in any way because, again, I feel I'm really excited to learn new knowledge in a different way, and I think doctoral education presents that different way because there is that dissertation element. So for me, going through 3 master's degrees, 2 of them had research-based capstones. One had a very rigorous thesis research project that lasted over a year. I have got a really good grasp on research, and I find that research is very rewarding. I love the methodical approach of building a research topic or kind of identifying one and then doing a dig into the research literature to understand what's going on and what hasn't been done. And I love thinking about methods that can investigate a topic, and I love being able to implement a study of some sort. So for me, research is exciting. However, I don't think research is for everyone. I actually teach a research course, a research and theory course at a university, and many students get into the course thinking they like research and walk out feeling like they've learned a lot, but that they don't like research at all because there are so many parts to a research study. And I find that people who are very detailed and organized and people who are very inquisitive and like to go through kind of an ethics process to really understand what are some of the ethical considerations behind the research study, how it impacts people who are participants, also the world at large, how it might impact the world, what kind of contributions research can make. And in some cases, that means figuring out ways to disseminate that research or present that research. So there are many people who don't like that process. But for me, I do. So doctoral education gives me an opportunity or affords me with a chance to do a deeper dive into research. And that's why it was really important at South College that there was some sort of dissertation element. And even though it might be a little bit more expedited or a little bit less involved in some doctoral programs, I think that it will still be a very thorough study. From what I understand, there has to be all parts of the study completed. And I've mentioned this in another video, but the program guide mentions that it's between 100 and 150 pages for the final dissertation report or whatnot. To me, that's exciting. I love writing. I love digging into details. Now, am I doing this to advance in my career and evolve from where I'm at and go up in a ladder in the world of work? Not necessarily. Even though I think that it is important for me as someone in academia to have a doctoral degree as part of that competitive edge, I'm not looking to advance necessarily. So I may not have as much motivation as other people who really see this as a stepping stone to something greater. And I think that I've talked to many people and they really hope that the doctoral degree does that. And I would encourage people to look into their careers of interest or their work areas of interest to see if that is something commonplace or, if it's more of a nice to have, because a doctorate degree is not an easy task. It's not something that can be done effortlessly or without a lot of intention and rigor. So for me, I feel like enough of my intention is around the learning piece, the research piece, and that job security piece that I'm motivated to continue my schooling and do this program and just kind of freshen up my mind, because I've been learning a lot of the same things, and I'm going to be taking on the specialization in adult development and learning, which is something that I didn't do as much at WGU. Many of the courses that I did there, they had case studies and topics around K-12, which isn't my area. So I'm excited to go back into the area of andragogy, which is adult education. There are certain kind of principles and practices that make adult learning different than children or adolescent learning and whatnot. All right, that's my say on why I'm doing it. And maybe if you are currently a student at South College or WGU or anywhere that you're studying, feel free to share your reasons for doing the program below. I think it's sometimes interesting to see what motivates other people, and maybe it's a good reminder of, hey, maybe I'm also in that same boat, or maybe not. Okay, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in another video.